Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is Thursday, and it is an absolutely wild day to be talking about Port Charles. The drama is overflowing right now, and we need to break down every single messy detail. Grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's just dive right into this chaos. Because there's so much to unpack, and the writers are really testing our patience this week. So let's start over at Bobby's because things are getting really interesting with Christina and Molly. Christina is sitting there talking to her sister, Molly Lansing Davis, right after leaving their mother's house. And we get this massive bombshell. Christina got news that she was accepted to medical school, which, okay, let's pause for a second. Fans on social media have been predicting this for weeks. We all know what this means. This is totally setting up Christina's exit from the show. Whenever a character suddenly gets accepted to a massive program out of nowhere, you just know they are packing their bags. But while they are at the diner, Christina tells Molly that she doesn't think something is a good idea. And I am just sitting here scratching my head. What is she talking about? Is she talking about medical school being a bad idea? Maybe she is second-guessing leaving Port Charles because of all the family drama. Or is she talking about something else entirely? Molly just got released from the hospital with a clean bill of health after her endometriosis surgery. And Cody Bell has been hovering over her, being super overprotective about physical intimacy. Is Christina warning Molly about her relationship? Or maybe she's warning her about something to do with their mom, Alexis, who is currently stressing out over Danny Morgan trying to join the mob. Honestly, the writers are being so vague here. But you guys know how this goes. They drop a cryptic line, and then we have to wait a week to find out what it actually means. But let's pivot to the absolute train wreck that is Curtis Ashford. Oh my God, Curtis. I cannot even begin to explain how frustrated I am with this man right now. Curtis is giving Jordan Ashford updates about his whole arrest situation. Jordan is still recovering from that horrific car crash on Route 91. And she is sitting there listening to her ex-husband talk about how he basically destroyed another man's life. In response to her questions, Curtis literally tells her that Isaiah again wanted to fight, and he gave him what he asked for. I mean, really? Are we serious right now? Curtis shows absolutely zero remorse whatsoever for what he did to Isaiah at the Metro Court Gardens. None. He slugged Isaiah so hard that the man fell against a table and crushed his hand. His hand, the man is a surgeon. That is his entire livelihood. And Curtis is just standing there with this attitude, like Isaiah had it coming. He takes no responsibility for his bad behavior, just totally ridiculous, a complete mess. He is acting like a jealous, territorial teenager instead of a grown man who is about to have a baby. And maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe Isaiah really did cross a massive line by being at Portia's baby exam. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. Isaiah baited him. But Curtis escalated it to physical violence. And now Isaiah sustained other injuries on top of the crushed hand. His cheek is visibly bruised. He might never be able to operate again. And Curtis is just shrugging it off. What is he thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well for him? So over at the PCPD, the reality of the situation is hitting hard. Jordan's good friend, Acting District Attorney Justine Turner, is asking questions. Justine is sitting down with Portia Robinson and Isaiah, and things are incredibly tense. Justine is feeling torn. She is Jordan's friend, but she has to uphold the law. And Isaiah is clearly the victim here. So she asks Portia if she agrees with Dr. Gannon's account of the events. Just put yourself in Portia's shoes for a second. She's pregnant with Curtis's baby. She is supposed to be having a baby shower soon, which Trina is trying to convince her not to cancel. And now she is sitting in a police station, listening to her boyfriend give a victim impact statement because her baby daddy ruined his surgical career. It is just off the charts. Justine knows that if a prosecution is going to go forward, she has to have both sides of the story, the offenders and the victims. Even though the case might not be coming to court immediately, she is clearly getting the victim impact statement from Isaiah right now. And Portia is probably going to rant about how Curtis ruined everything. I honestly don't see how Curtis avoids prison time for this. He ruined a doctor's career over male ego. But let's move on to the other massive headache in Port Charles right now. Lulu and Dante. So back at Lulu's house, she is with Dante Falconeri, and they're deep in discussion about Rocco running away with Britt Westbourne. And Lulu has a question. She wants to know if Dante thinks they can bring in the FBI. The FBI, you guys, I actually laughed out loud at this. I know this is a soap opera and the feds get called for a stolen purse, but let's be real. Lulu is panicking. Harrison Chase traced Britt's ticket to Berlin, But there is absolutely no record of Britt actually using her ticket, so they didn't fly to Berlin. They are likely still in the United States, and the FBI criteria to get involved in the case usually requires a minor being transported over state lines. So maybe they did cross state lines. It might be a bit too soon in real life to get the FBI involved in searching for a runaway teenager. But like I said, in a soap opera, anything is possible. But honestly, Lulu's the last person who should be acting shocked right now. She got Rocco the fake passport. She literally handed her teenage son the exact documents he needed to go on the run. And now she's holding herself responsible, which she should, because this is all her fault. She tried to keep Rocco away from Britt, and it just pushed him right into Britt's getaway car. And we know from the video message Rocco left that he wasn't coerced. He begged Britt to take him. Britt is dying of Huntington's disease. She is terrified. She locked poor Elizabeth Baldwin in a closet, smashed their phones, and sped out of town. It is a chaotic nightmare. And Dante is sitting there trying to figure out the best move. What is not a good idea in this case is getting the WSB involved. Do not call the WSB with Jack Brennan and Valentin Cassidy playing their little spy games and Jocelyn Jack somehow caught up in all of it. The WSB is the absolute worst agency you could invite into your family drama right now. Dante knows this. He also has that fake Nathan West guy, who we know is actually Cassius. Faison pressuring him to use Sonny's mob connections to hide Rocco from Ross Cullum. So Dante is just surrounded by bad options. Which brings us to the mob boss himself. Sonny Corinthos is in his office at Pozzolos. Not his main place, but the restaurant office. And he's on the phone providing reassurance to someone. He tells the person, "You sit tight, I will take care of everything." I have heard Sonny say that exact phrase probably 1,000 times over the years. And it always means someone is about to have a very bad day. But who's he talking to? There is a very good possibility that he is still talking to Laura Collins. Laura and Sonny have been discussing how to get Pascal to turn on Jen Sidwell. Sidwell is a total psychopath. He shot Professor Henry Dalton right in the living room of Windermere, and Pascal helped him cover it up. Britt called Sonny right before she went on the run and gave him that piece of information. So now Sonny and Laura have leverage. And during their brainstorm, they actually brought up Lucas Jones's name as a possible inside person to help in the process of taking down Sidwell. Lucas Jones, as a mob inside man, Lucas doesn't even like Sonny. He hates the mob. He blames the mob for so much of the pain in his life. But Laura is his Uncle Luke Spencer's widow. Lucas loved Luke, and Lucas is currently mourning Marco Rios, who proved himself to Lucas and lost his life for it. And Marco was Sidwell's son. So maybe Lucas has enough grief and anger right now to actually agree to this crazy plan. It's a huge risk. Wait, no, maybe he meant something else. Maybe Sonny isn't talking to Laura at all. He could also be talking to Dante or Lulu about the Rocco runaway situation. Dante was debating whether to cross the line and ask Sonny for help to make Rocco disappear so Ross Cullum couldn't find him. Cullum has this wrong hunch that Jason Morgan's son Danny shot him, but Lulu thinks Cullum might have figured out it was actually Rocco. So maybe Sonny is telling Dante to sit tight and let him handle Cullum and the search for Britt. Nevertheless, Sonny says he can handle this on his own, because of course he does. Sonny always thinks he can handle it on his own even when Jason Morgan isn't around to do the heavy lifting. Ethan Lovett just came back to town asking Sonny for a job so he can take out Sidwell. But Sonny told Ethan to hold back. So Sonny is juggling Ethan, Laura Sidwell, Pascal, Dante Lulu, and Rocco all at the same time. It is exhausting just thinking about it. I just really hope they find Rocco before Britt's condition gets worse. Huntington's is no joke, and Britt is under so much stress. She already screamed at Lucas that she wouldn't do the cold fusion project anymore. She is at her breaking point, and Rocco is just a kid trying to protect his family. The whole thing is heartbreaking. And meanwhile, we have Curtis out here, crushing hands and acting like he's the victim. The contrast in these storylines is just wild. Alright, I'm going to wrap this up before I start rambling again. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is Christina really leaving for med school? Is Curtis going to prison? Should they call the FBI for Rocco? And who is Sonny actually talking to? I'll see you guys in the next update.